All right, class, good morning. Today we are going to continue with our World War II unit. And to be in the class today, I'm going to have you all watch this video. While we're watching this video, I want you to think about your impressions and your thoughts about this video. And I'm going to have you each write down at least 3 of those and be ready to share those with your partner. So watch this closely and think about the impressions and feelings that you get.
Happy barnyard some years ago, a seemingly unimportant event occurred which was destined to vitally affect the future of that little world. Mr. and Mrs. Duck were expecting.
Mama, was ist los? What's this, a dark horse?
And so time passed. Hey, Bud, not so fast.
Oh, all right. But time does fly, don't it, Johnny?
Time passed. The bad egg grew to duckhood, and with artistic aspirations dreamed of brush and palette, but ended up with only the brush.
You don't know what.
His artistic efforts spurned, he soon turned to other endeavors.
Und vergiss nicht, du Dops, ich bin der abgeblossene Freisch in Deutschland, in aller Europa, ja in der ganzen Welt. My mama done told me. Say Heil!
And there were some gullible ones who listened. Especially one goose, more gullible than gooses. Geese usually go.
That's all right. That's the old stuff, kiddo. He's a smarter fellow with brains, huh? Like me.
Sieg Heil, boy. I'm from South Germany. I'm a sick Heiler, too.
E comincia contando. Sei tutte 9-10. Tutti i frutti, and all kinds of whips of cream and I want nuts.
So erase all thoughts of peace from off this place. Have they forgot 'tis love that's right, and naught is gained by show of might? Yes, came another partner to make a silly Axis of himself.
I a Japanese a sapperman, sneaking on with a do. Just a Japanese a sapperman, I'm a little crazy too. Oh, sorry. Oh, so sorry. Oh, very, very sorry, Frieza. Oh, to apologizing like a Dickens. Oh, just a minute, Frieza. Oh, I am not a Japanese son of gun. Yeah, and I'm Mark Turtle Soup.
With spreading clouds of war, once more the Axis marched toward dreams of further conquest.
1, 2, button of my shoe. 3, 4,
Shut honorable door.
5, 6, see him over the sticks. 7, 8,
Array them straight.
9, 10.
Begin again.
Mercy me, bring Grendel sight. O branch of peace, forestall this fight. Kind sirs, change your warlike. Stop! Now, where were we? Oh, yes.
Peekaboo, Frizz. Busy little bee, aren't I?
I hate war, but once begun, well, I just didn't choose to run. So I can point with pride and say, there's 3 that didn't get away.
All right, so I'm going to give you all a minute to talk to your partner a little bit about some of the impressions and thoughts that you had about this video. Okay, minute is passed. So now, some of you, would you be willing to share some of the thoughts and things that you thought? Brittany? Oh, great. I think that's a great point, how they showed the Axis powers as kind of silly and not desirable. Yeah, thank you, Brittany. Anyone else? Sean. Oh, Sean, thanks. Yeah, I agree. They tried to show the Allies as just somebody that's just seeking peace, and so they just had to fight against the Axis powers because that was the only way to achieve peace. Yeah, it showed a lot of history. Thank you. It showed a lot of historical events that occurred at that time. We're going to talk about some of those things today and over the next couple of days. Yeah, I also think it's really interesting at the end. It showed pretty much what their goal was, that buy the bonds. So this video is something that we call propaganda, which is just when you're trying to convince someone else through a convincing media. So today, in class today, we are going to talk about we're going to talk about World War II's impact on the home front. Why we watch this video to be in class is because these are kind of the kind of videos that a lot of people in the home front were seeing. You just experienced a little bit of what it might be like to go to the movies during World War II. They would see propaganda like this that would encourage them to make certain choices in their everyday life. to help the war effort and beat those bad guys, those bad ducks. So this slide just shows a little bit that image on the bottom corner is something that we think a lot about when we think of World War II. We think about the battles. We think about the South Pacific. And the image on the top on the right there, it shows some workers, which is what also was occurring during World War II, and what people what you would have seen if you were living in America and not fighting at the war. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that today, about what it was like living in America during World War II. So to begin class, I'm going to have you guys know what this is. You guys see this poster, you know what we're going to do. That's right, we're going to look at some primary documents. We're going to look at some images, and I'm going to have you all assess them. But before that, I'll do a little modeling for you. So this is the image that I'm going to model, and you guys are all going to get similar images. This is a propaganda poster. And so by looking at this poster, I'm going to ask myself these 3 questions, and each one of you is going to get a worksheet that also has these 3 questions, all right? So be thinking about it. The first question is, what is depicted in this picture? All right, well, I'm looking at this picture. I see a little child. He looks like a normal American child, but he has a hat on that has the Nazi symbol, and there's weapons in the background. He has a skull on his shirt, and I think so. So that's what's in the picture. And the next question is, who is the audience? So I think that the audience for this picture would probably be American families with children, because the third question is, what is it trying to convince the audience to do or feel? So if this is pointed to American parents or families, I think it's trying to get them to think the impact of a Nazi victory could have on America and on their children. It's saying that if we don't beat these allies, then our children are going to be part of this Nazi system that creates death and violence. So it's trying to convince Americans to buy war bonds and contribute to the war effort. All right. So I just did the poster project for the propaganda poster exercise for each of you, and you're each going to get a picture. I'm going to have you go into jigsaw groups. So you're going to be in your table groups of 3, and you're each going to get a different poster. And I want you to do this as a group. You're going to have about 3 minutes to do this. After you talk about it 10 minutes to do this. After you talk about this as a group, I'm now going to have you join. There's 2 other pictures that you won't have talked about. I'm going to have you join with somebody that has one of those other pictures, and the 3 of you are going to share what you know. All right, so you're going to become experts on this poster to share with someone else. So each of you take your poster and fill out your graphic organizer, and then move on to your next groups. Okay, great. Thank you guys for being so cooperative and working together during this time. Now that you guys have all become experts on those posters, I want you to discuss this a little bit as a class. So let's talk about these specific posters. So the first one is this picture here. So somebody who has some thoughts about this poster and can tell us about it, can you tell us a little bit about, mostly important, let's talk about what this poster is trying to convince. Sam? Yeah, great. I think that's totally right. It's showing the soldiers and how the soldiers are working hard, and they are in this picture, they're traveling together, and it's saying that we, just like the soldiers, we can travel together and make an impact on the war effort by being conservative. Great. Thanks so much, Sam. That's a great point. Here's our next poster. This is probably one that you guys have seen a lot. And I'm going to listen to some of the comments that you have about this poster that you might have seen, and now maybe you understand a little bit better. And I'm out of time, so I'm going to stop.